Well, I'm back looking to do some water hunting again today. We are 2 hours before low tide. You can see how calm it is out here. The wind didn't pick up yet, but any minute now it's going to turn into 18-mile-per-hour winds from the south because a big storm is coming. And I'm staring at the north right now, so I like the winds coming from the south because it'll blow some water out, but it is a storm. And I'm kind of wishing the tide was out a little further than it is right now. But we're going to give it a shot. As long as there's no thunder, because it's awfully warm out right now. 60 degrees right now. That does mean there could be the potential for some thunder. Well, as far as conditions are concerned today, you're not going to find it any flatter. That bay is calm. But the tide is definitely not out as far as I would like it to be, which is really going to restrict how far I could walk out. On a lighter note, the water seems to be fairly clear, which is another good sign. Well, as I'm waiting for the tide to go out a little bit more, I'm going to run my favorite little strip again, because every high tide could potentially wash some stuff up. It's a little brass piece, probably off I'm guessing it's off a boat or it's a lock, something. It's an interesting piece. So that potentially could have come off an old bicycle, maybe? And that's been out here a while. Not really sure what I'm looking at here. Although it's thick enough to have some details on it, it's just really got some corrosion on it. I don't want to clean it up too much here. It's quarter size. Could just be a clad quarter, but if... hold on. It's not a clad quarter. I see some stars on the side here. Let me see if I can raise this off a little bit more. Came up a really nice signal. And those are not the stars of a clad quarter, that's for sure. We might have either a barber quarter. Am I starting to see the neck of a head there? I'm not really sure. Interesting. There are stars there. And I'm not really sure what's coming out over here. But I think when I get this home, I'll be able to identify it. It's never easy to see it when I'm here. Well, that mystery coin has kept me here a little bit longer. The tide is going out. But I'm so intrigued. When you see this kind of clay coming up, there's no question there's old stuff in here. Now, there's no guaranteeing you're going to find it, but this is where you have to spend some slow time. I absolutely love this mess of greenish clay, tan clay. Look at this stuff. I don't even know what mostly it's made of, but there's probably a lot of petroleum in here. But you have to search this stuff slow. Well, as this little coin starts to dry, I am once again very curious. It's really beat up. It's silver. It was just sitting right on top here. I wasn't even paying any attention to it. I got a junky little signal, and then I saw something round. I see stars. It's tiny. It's tinier than a dime. It's silver. I'm thinking this thing is old. It might even be a half dime. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a reading on this. I'm floored that this thing was just sitting here. What is it? I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. It's got a little hole right there. I thought initially it was one of those toy cannons, but it's too symmetrical on both sides. I'm not sure. Love these bag seals. There's probably initials on that or something, maybe a number. That definitely tells you you're in the right area. Yeah, I believe that's going to come up as an Indian head cent. I believe I see the 1 cent on the back, so that's still a great time period. All right, I just flipped over that rock and I'm seeing something very interesting right here. I initially thought it was a key, but I don't think that's a key. That is a cross. Look at this thing. Oh, wow. All right, that might just be the find of the day. How old are you? Excellent. No, I never got out in the water. Well, we just pulled out another key. This one isn't too old, probably 40s or 50s. Got some writing on it though. Well, I'm just getting out of here as the storm's about to come in. I wound up spending all the time in a spot I did not expect. I did no water hunting, although I'm soaked, and it's time to head back. Well, I'm getting out another day at a very common area, but I just haven't been here in a while. I'm hoping for some good wash off. Tide's going out, and it looks good. It's a little on the chillier side today. I'm also testing out a new pair of boots that the Cow company sent me as a promotional offer that I can test them out and say how I like them. And I gotta tell you, as of right now, they feel phenomenal. But one of the many issues that we have to look into, especially when I'm traversing right here, is you need a good pair of sturdy boots, A, to get areas you may normally not be able to get to. B, and this just happens to be a famous spot for the one day I came out here and I found an awesome old shipwreck, and I had an old pair of boots on. They weren't great. I stepped right onto the shipwreck and a spike went through the bottom of my foot, and game changer, that was it. I had to go home. Some kind of bone there. So I'll tell you, these particular boots have a tremendous bottom on it. Nothing's getting through these things. And so far, they feel great. Let's see how they do. I'm not sure what this little thing is. Strange. Wood. Let's see what this is got. Central something. So this is a broken up bottle, but this is definitely the age I'm looking for. Looks like Staten Island, New Jersey registered. Repsum That's Rubsum and something. I kind of remember that name. But even though this is broken, it is telling me the potential of tossing some bottles is here. Tossing some bottles in. Or some whole ones. Yeah. This would have been something interesting. Unfortunately, I've got a couple of these at home. Nice age to it. But beat up. There's got to be more. Now, I might have something here that has potential, but potential to be broken. I see something that I spotted. It was just the top of a bottle. It's so slim that this thing's going to be full. Hence, the top of it is broken. But, again, I'm going to say, no, this would have had a label on it, so it's not super old. But it was hiding in there. Well, I gotta say, that's a pretty cool antler piece. Odd that this would be here, but for some reason I'm taking this home. There are cool edges to it. Well, I did make it back to the old shipwreck, and it's been a while since this thing has been exposed this much. So I do like the fact that the sand is being tossed away and bringing this guy back up again. It's a great looking ship. And this is where, due to my faulty boots that I used to have, I stepped on a spike right here. But not today. Now, fortunately, other than looking at some of this exposed brass that we always find on the beach, this is where it comes from, these boats. There's a bottle sitting right here. Oh, there's some more exposed brass. Look at those things. I'm going to check this bottle out. I like that it's got some stuff growing on it. I like that it's a milk and has some embossing. Now, is the top intact? It sure is. Look at that. We got ourselves probably a 100-year-old milk container. And that is exactly what I'm looking for. I mean, I'll go older, but this is a take-home. Nice. Clean that up when I get home. Fantastic. Right inside my boat. I'm bringing home a couple pieces of concretion because that might actually be a button right there. There's something interesting popping out there. There's some brass there. I love breaking these pieces open and seeing what's inside. Might be another one right there. So I'm going to take this one home. All right, phase 2. I'm in a different spot. And I got about another hour left before the tide really starts to come rushing in. It seems to be very low today. And I was just able to once again test out these new boots because I had to traverse down this hill. And like I said, one fall, you can't afford to fall. There's glass everywhere. Maybe worse than cutting yourself is you'll probably have to go back home before you even found anything. And that's not what I'm willing to do. So far these boots are getting an A+ rating. There's something coming out of the sidewall here. In there too, it's a little piece of bottle. I like searching these sidewalls after a good rain. This might just be the bottom of a broken bottle. Yeah. That would have been something interesting. Well, for a place that should be totally washed out and just have treasures everywhere, it's kind of put me in the doldrums. I'm not getting much today. So I'm picking up pieces of red glass like this, some kind of reflector. Well, after saying that, things are looking up a little bit. I've got a little porcelain stopper here, although I wish there was something written on it, but right now that's a step in the right direction. Well, maybe someone can recognize what this little bugger is. It's plastic. Well, maybe you can explain to me how I stood right over this before and missed it. And that's just as clear as day. That's why you gotta go over your spots sometimes. I mean, it's just a penny. I don't even think it's a wheat penny, but it's a penny sitting right on top. You have to see these. It is a wheat cent. 19... Of course, there's always a smudge over the date. I believe it's 44, 34, something like that. There's a penny sitting right here. Huh. Yep, I'm still collecting the lead. Whoops. These copper pieces get in here. And copper, at some point, when I stop procrastinating, or these things get too heavy, oh my goodness, or these things get too heavy, I gotta recycle these. And some plastic. All right, another day out, and the tide is looking good. We need that thing to push out. The wind's not exactly in the right direction. This may be our last hunt of the week, and we're gonna get out in the water. My brother's gonna be coming over that ledge any minute now. He's lagging behind, but I'm gonna do a little searching in the mud before I get the detector out. Well, he's pulling up from the behind, but right now I had to stop at this little section. You can see all this wash and all these stones. It's exactly what you want to start to see is the old pieces of bottles coming out. There was a bottle over there that unfortunately the top was broken. That would have been a nice one from the early 1900s. And then before you know it, look what does pop up. I did this just as I walked over here and I had to stop and potentially do a better look in this area. It's a really nice orange and white. Look at how all these other pieces are popping out. That's some kind of milk glass rod. So I gotta get a little closer look and really search this area for some goods. See if anything else pops out. Maybe a few more marbles. Well, we're closing up another year, and I can't believe, with all the marbles I did find this year, that I'm still not completely filled up with my skull bottle yet. And as I look at it, that might even be enough for at least 15 to 20 more. So we are still not complete with filling this guy up yet. But I have a feeling I'm definitely going to do a giveaway contest in the future when this thing finally fills up, guessing the count on how many marbles are in here. Just a future reference, we are going to do that at some point. Well, I'm not looking at the most decorative plate out there, but it's an entire plate that just got washed up. There's something on there. Huh. How do you not take that home? We'll be able to get a date on that. Well, it's amazing. I spent an hour and a half with no signals at all, looking for anything to show an older area. And that was when I was out deep. I come in closer, then I get my first signal. It's a harmonica reed, I believe. Well, I'm happy to see this little brass button, because again, this thing's got some age to it. So we're definitely in the right area. I pulled out a brass hinge. It's always a good sign, especially if it's heavy. Let's see if we can find some coins in this. I'm gonna film this one because it's the first good signal I've had. Targets have been a little difficult to dig out here, but it's a nice low tide. This one's a 2021 beeping around. Maybe we'll get an Indian head out of this. If I can get it on the first scoop, it would be great. Well, I don't hear anything. Let's see. What? Button? There's a 19 in there. But it doesn't look like much of anything but a little piece of hardware. Rats. Matt just picked up a button. He just picked up a button.